puzzle pieces to assemble into a tower in order to display the resilience and belongingness that was exemplified within Tattoos on the Heart and discussed within our class. Each piece was built up layer by layer on their own, but they couldn't reach their greatest height on their own. Each individual being built and the process itself is important in understanding that we all have our own challenges and our own setbacks. But where some of the blocks were important because of their large size, others were important because they provided stability, while the others reached higher. This is similar to how everyone has a place discovered or undiscovered. The puzzle aspect of the tower really imparts a level of mystery in why every block is there. It seems easy to put them together, but this is in fact a result of us having an improved take for the puzzle tower, showing how throughout the book, resilience and belongingness weren't just important, but they were important for one another. In our videoed section, there were setbacks of shaking tables and errant hands. They represented the challenges life throws our way. But by working together and finding their place, the blocks were able to assemble to a height much greater than their own. Each of the members had an important part in the tower. By holding up one another, there were spaces created for the others to build off of and for the community to improve.
Okay. So for the first example that in the book that shows resilience, I'm going to be talking about the burning of the bakery. It was a powerful example in the book that shows the common theme, resilience. Instead of seeing it as a sign to stop, the homies kept going. Like many of the homies' experiences throughout their lives, it was a setback, or in the case of our tower, a knockdown. The bakery burning down also mirrors many of the homies' lives. Boyle even refers to some of their lives as house fires, metaphorically speaking about their personal setbacks. Like putting the tower back together after it falls down, the homies clearing the bakery remains and starting over shows they weren't going to let it stop them, and that they would begin again. The fire also showed a great example of how resilience can create growth within a person, as it did for Homeboy Industries. The fire at the bakery opened opportunities for community support and fundraising that led to what it is today.
Father Boyle showed resilience by providing support to the gang members, even if they do not want his help. He consistently showed love to people who often did not at first show love back. In Chapter 8, Father Boyle talks about the deaths of two homies, both of whom were just getting on the right track. He describes how many mothers he has had to bring bad news to and how demoralizing it is. Even when faced with the death of one of his homies, Father Boyle showed love and compassion. This resilience in helping the homies paved the way for Homeboy Industries to succeed.
One story which really shows this resiliency is the story of Pedro. Pedro, like most of the homies, grew up in a terrible situation, but Pedro let it turn him to alcohol and drugs, and he decided that instead of living his life, he wanted to escape it. But Father Boyle did not give up on him. Every day, Father Boyle asked him if he could take him to rehab, and eventually Pedro decided that yes, he would go to rehab and decided to face the difficulties of living his life instead of continuing to knock down this tower through his own drug usage. But only 30 days into rehab, Pedro faced a terrible tragedy. His own brother decided to kill himself, and his brother had been in a similar situation to Pedro. He had grown up with the same hardships, and he had turned to alcohol and to drugs as well. So Pedro was now faced with the terrible question: was life as he had it worth living? His brother didn't think so. His brother thought it was better to kill himself than to face the struggles of living life. And so Pedro didn't only face the terrible tragedy of losing his own brother, but he had to ask himself if the struggle he was going through was really worth it, if he really had hope for a better life. And he decided that he did, and he stayed in rehab and was able to overcome his addiction. The suicide was a block in Pedro's life. Almost all struggles we face are a block in our life. And for years, Pedro tried to ignore his life and knocked them over with drugs, but now he accepted this block he was given. Instead of letting it turn him back to drugs, he faced the pain, and it made him stronger and helped him build his tower to new heights. And, I mean, obviously, Pedro's story shows amazing resilience. He faced struggles most of us can hardly even imagine, and he was able to overcome them and live a good, meaningful life. He later became a case manager for Homeboy Industries, helping other people who have faced the same things overcome their struggles.